everyone. Today we are going to study about the challenges in international business. So first, let us know the meaning of international business. It refers to those business activities that take place beyond the geographical limits of a country. According to Michael R., an international business consists of transactions that are carried out across the national borders to satisfy the objectives of the individual companies and organizations. These transactions take on various forms which are often interrelated. The challenges of IB. The first challenge is language barrier. Every company has their own language, accent, and their own mother tongue. So it obviously creates a language barrier among the people to communicate properly, and it also creates a communication gap. This is also a major challenge in international business. While making transactions from different countries, it is very important to understand the communication. The next one is cultural differences. Every country has their own culture, custom, traditions which they follow, and they have their own cultural holidays, beliefs, and values which can affect the work ethic and business operations. So it is very important for all the companies, and it is also important for the business owners to understand the differences between their cultures and working environments, such as when the fast food came to India, they had to adopt the cultural beliefs and the food habits which are practiced in the domestic country. The next challenge is managing a global team. Managing team with members from different countries and time zone can be very challenging with the aid of technology without the aid of technology, because every country has their own timings, and the technology also varies from a country to different country. Their work experience, their working strategies also gets differentiated. So it is very important and it is very challenging to manage the members who are from different countries, who follow their own beliefs, and who have their own priorities for the working age. The next challenge is currency exchange and inflation rates. Every country has their own exchange rates and inflation rates, which can always affect the value of products and services which they provide in the international businesses. The next one is foreign politics and policy. Again, in every country, there are certain politicians, the political relations. It depends upon the political relations whether the countries will accept the operations, taxes, transactions, and labor laws of the other country. It is not necessary for all the countries to accept the other countries' rules, regulations, and operations. It depends upon their political relations and their working requirements, their demand and supply of whether to adopt to the changes or to continue with their own laws. The next one is recruiting and onboarding international talent. In internationally recruiting people and hiring employees, it is a very challenging task due to the differences in employment laws. Every country has their own labor regulations and they have their different employment laws, which affects the hiring process of every employee from a different country. So either the employees have to adopt with the country, the host or the parent company for which they are going to work, or the employer has to provide the facilities to adopt to the changing laws depending upon their other countries. The next one is payroll challenges. Different countries have different tax laws and benefits, so the payroll system also gets affected here. In certain countries, when an employee is hired for another country, he has to pay tax for both the countries. And in some countries, he has to pay the tax for only the domestic countries or the country where he is working. So it all depends upon the tax laws of the country, and it also affects the performance and the challenges in international business. The next one is Supply chain issues. Import and export laws and regulations can affect supply chain operations. Every country has their own customs duties and the import export laws regulations which can affect the transactions and business management of the international business and companies. So it is very important to have a mutual understanding between the suppliers to make an effective transactions. The next one is compliance with international regulations. There are different countries who are having different business regulations and laws. Each country has their own perspective of making a transaction and their own rules to complete the transactions. So the countries should coordinate and adopt to the regulations and the acts which support in their favor of transactions. The next one is competing in a new market. Competition in a foreign market can be very tough because to understand the cultural and language barriers and overcoming the competition which is already existing in the foreign market is very, very important and very, very crucial. In foreign market, there will be their own competitors, their own regulations, their own customer base, and to attract those customers to our international business, it is very important, yet it is very complicated. So they have to come up with new strategies which doesn't affect their cultural beliefs, their values, and also it doesn't create any chaos in their work environment or the market environment. The next one is environmental concern and sustainability. The products which are being produced in one country can be spoiled in other company due to the climatic variations or the shipment process or the time period in which they reach the market, because the demand is in the market and the demand in the market is like the products should be on time with the price certainties. And the last one is a brand consistency. Building a brand internationally is a very difficult job. It needs a lot of hard work, smart work, the adoption of new technologies, the adoption of the cultural barriers to avoid the cultural conflicts, and to build a relationship, to build a brand, it takes a lot of efforts. So it is very, very, very important for any company to work efficiently while working in the companies. So, in the international business, the benefits are usually very high because there is the currency exchange which helps in earning more, the transportation which helps in building a more popular relationship with other countries. It also gives touch of new technology of other countries and certain other benefits, but the challenges are also very crucial to build a brand, to establish their company products in other country, and to maintain a healthy relationship. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of efforts. So it is very important for all the companies to ensure that they don't uh, create any kind of difficulties or they don't create any kind of um, environmental crisis, or the laws, labor laws, regulations doesn't get affected by their transactions or by their business process in the other country or international business. Thank you so much for listening.